What is something you did when you were younger that you are still facing the consequences of? I had a bad habit of biting my nails and not washing my hands when I was about 10 years old. I got pinworms twice, and to this day whenever my ass itches I have a moment of panic. Blew my credit. Still fixing that one. Nice job, me. Loud concerts. No earplugs. Not taking care of my teeth and not learning how to budget. Now I am broke with fucked teeth. Avoiding socializing, not fixing social anxiety. Been huge source of strife in career and personal life. Listening to my music on full blast. I'm 23 and I've lost nearly 40% of my total hearing. What are some skinny people problems? We fit everywhere. As a construction worker it sucks. Putting extra holes into belts. You have to sit in the middle seat of the car during long trips. Sit-ups. The way my spine rolls against a hard surface. I just can't. I need to be on a carpet to do sit-ups. Not being able to sit on hard surfaces. I lost the padding on my butt and now a bike seat is hell. WTF, you're so skinny. Yes I am. How observant. What made you join Reddit? I had a specific question I needed to ask. I like the fact that I don't know any of you. I live in Madagascar. I can only watch so many chickens before needing additional means of entertainment. My teenagers said I would love it. They were right. When all my Google searches ended in plus Reddit. I have been browsing Reddit for 6 years but did not make an account until this month. I like that you are anonymous and can get unrestricted opinions. Good or bad. For instance, I made a throwaway and asked the pre-med and bioengineering subreddits for career and resume advice. And I got honest opinions from experts in the field on ways to improve. These opinions were not filtered because they did not know me. It was really useful tbh. Some even reached out to me in chat to give me advice on job hunting. One hiring manager even told me which companies to apply to. How do introverted people wish to be socially interacted with? Not every introvert is the same. I enjoy being included in things. And sometimes it's hard for me to break into the conversation. So it's always great when someone says, "What were you saying? Silmarillion?" This helps so much. Sometimes I need a break from a large group. But it doesn't mean I don't enjoy the gathering. Please, 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 don't ask why I'm so quiet. Because it's a battle I've struggled with my whole life. And it makes me even more aware of how strange I might seem to others. Thus making it even harder for me to talk. I'll tell you what I hate. You're being so quiet. It's such a bullshit thing to say. You see that I'm not participating in the conversation but instead of asking me my thoughts or something you just call me out for being socially awkward. Respect their boundaries. Sometimes they just want to be left alone or to be quiet. I'm kinda a mismatch of introvert that seems like an extrovert with huge social anxiety around new people. Just try not to seem too intimidating or talk calmly and I'll be alright. Once you get to know me though, I'm loud and crazy when I know I'm safe with friends. I'm an introvert. It's not like we're some totally different species. You can interact with people normally. Introverts just need time alone to recharge after a lot of socializing. Extroverts get energy from it. Stuff like don't make small talk. Or text me instead of calling. Are just personal preferences. You can 100% find extroverts that hate small talk or that want to be texted. I fucking love small talk. To me it's how you can build a connection with someone so that you can have the big conversations. Text me instead of calling though. But I think that's just because I'm a millennial. Don't talk non-stop without a room to breathe and then complain I don't say anything. If you want me to meet new PPL and I come. Don't start with saying awkward stuff you know about me and mocking me all the time. In the end you just wanted to make fun of me. I don't know new person at all, and in their eyes I am a mongrel. So I will never want to talk to them after. And I won't come next time. Nor the time after and after. What should society stop forcing on us? Junk mail. The need to create an account for every website or software. WTF. I just want to install my graphics drivers. There's no reason for you to know who I am. You already have many thousands of my monies. The idea of hobbies becoming side hustles. Why can't a hobby just be a hobby? Ads. The ad bombardment is reaching a truly infuriating level. To the point where I purposefully do everything possible to ignore them. Subscription-based services. Everybody out here wants your money now on a monthly schedule. Donating your vacation time to coworkers because the company you work for is shitty. There was a natural disaster and one of the stores in the chain I worked for got flooded. Instead of just giving people time off because they literally couldn't work, they asked everyone to give up the few paid days off we got a year. Most of us got less than a week off a year. What are some reasons to not move to your country? I live in the Caribbean. Really expensive. Really, really expensive. Like an apple for $2. It's Brazil. I am from Iraq, so it's pretty self-explanatory. You can't. My government has closed international borders. Australia, not North Korea. The Netherlands, great country, but the bureaucracy can be insane sometimes. Portugal here. Absurd taxation. When you consider the average income, gas prices, and the fact every single politician is a crook. Just yesterday, for example, we found out the mayor of Lisbon has been selling information to Putin and Maduro on their political opponents among the respective immigrant populations. Lovely. Police officers, investigators, etc. What are your, holy shit, this criminal is smart moments? Not a cop, but I liked this old story. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Anthony_Curcio. About an armored truck robber who covered his tracks by first placing a Craigslist ad to get a bunch of suspects to show up to an imaginary construction job near the scene of the crime dressed like him. Yellow vest, safety goggles, blue shirt, respirator mask, work boots. Guy found out that when a gas station lost its satellite connection, it automatically accepted all credit cards and would presumably process them later. So, he climbed on the roof and covered the dish with foil to force it to lose connection, then made charges on a card that was cancelled. Many years ago, probably 20-ish, my dad used to own this company and one of his employees died in a car accident. In the next few days my dad received the work logs and books and things that this guy would have kept with him. And that's when my dad realized this guy was doing offline transactions. What they had to do when a client needed something after hours. I'm not exactly sure how it worked. It was something to do with the physical receipt layout, but he would overcharge X amount for the item, get to work and input Y amount paid and have the correct receipt, and pocket the difference. He had been doing this for years and years and my dad didn't realize. Not exactly the smartest, but he was never caught. My dad decided not to say anything to the family or anything like that. In the 2000s you could order a new credit card, not activate it, and then when you were on a long-haul flight you could upgrade via the card machine to first class once on board and then pay for the premium service, and when the flight landed and got internet connection none of the purchases would be successful and you would already be out of the airport. I never understood how they couldn't find you afterwards with your passport and credit card details. But it was a big fraudulent scam that hit the newspapers multiple times. Maybe because apart from witness testimonies there wasn't a sufficient paper trail to say that you were upgraded or had any of the expensive champagne or duty-free. I was an assistant manager at a little deli corner store for a few years, and one of the employees bragged that he was getting a bag of weed a week from the store for free. Not to me but to other employees. I couldn't figure out how. The numbers always matched up. He was also really successful with one of our couponing programs. It took me a while to figure out that our POS system would take the coupon without the UPC being scanned. In other words, the coupons were essentially cash. He was cashing out till to $80 a week in coupons. The kid was pretty smart. I only found out when I was doing RHE inventory and the books the same week. I saw that we sold a ton of ice cream. And thought, geez, I am gonna have to restock the crap out of that. Then realized that it was fully stocked and put 2 and 2 together. My old boss was a major thief with 2 of his close friends in my small city. They all worked normal jobs at areas where they could talk to people. Waiting tables and things like that. Every year when Christmas or another break-like holiday they would case out frat, sorority houses. And while everyone is seeing family, they'd clean them out. Would go by storage units and look for things like cigarette butts around them and assume people probably practice playing music and store instruments there. Since clearly they're there often enough to hang around and smoke. One of them got pinched when he tried to sell an expensive guitar at a music shop, and it was the shop owner's stolen guitar. Thinking quickly, he said how he had bought the guitar from a guy named, let's say, Steve. Gave the cops all the info since he had been working with Steve at the restaurant waiting tables. Well, Steve actually just died about a week before in a car wreck, so no charges on anyone. They had ATVs, motorcycles, every video game console, TVs, instruments, etc. When they were finally busted selling a four-wheeler to a sheriff's daughter. The other detective who investigated Steve told M that was a pretty clever idea, sending them after a dead man. Then they all went to prison for about 4 years.
Subscribe, my brothers.